Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Tonight, inshallah, we'll talk about the manners or adab al-isti'dhan. And these are the manners of asking for permission. Permission for what? For many things. So we will, inshallah, try to discuss the issues and the situation where a Muslim need to ask for permission for certain things that a lot of us maybe overlook or neglect, even though in the Sharia it's forbidden to do that, and in the Sharia, the least it's not recommended, it's makruh, but sometimes it's haram, and a lot of us might not pay attention to it and might do it out of being oblivious and not being so much thinking it's a big deal, but to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala it's a big deal, and that is what counts. قال ابن حجر رحمه الله في فتح الباري في شرح صحيح البخاري: طلب الإذن في الدخول لمحل لا يملكه المستأذن. The meaning of الاستئذان is to ask for a permission for the person who's coming, to ask for a permission to enter into a place that does not belong to him. To ask for a permission to enter into a place that does not belong to him, to this person who's asking for the permission. That is just a general meaning, specific in certain situations, but it really means more than that, depends on the case. Usually when we say isti'dhan or asking for permission, the very first thing that comes to mind is permission to come into a house. That is the very first thing, but it's not. That is major one, but it's not the only one. Okay? There are many things that we need to ask permission to do. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى in سورة النور: يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها ذلكم خير لكم لعلكم تذكرون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O you who believe, do not enter into houses other than yours unless you ask for permission and you say the salam. Okay? Until you ask for permission and you make the greeting. So you're not allowed to enter into a house that is not of yours until you do that. You ask for permission, you ask the people, and usually there is emphasis on this issue, and sometimes we might think, but why we need to talk about this? Today we have doors and we have gates and we have locks and all that. So no one can just walk in, okay? No one can just come in and it's all over. So we say in the past they did not have these things. In the past the house didn't have a door, and if it had a cover it will be a curtain. Okay, it will be a curtain that the air or the wind can blow away. Anyone can come through. All right. So it's very important that we don't lose that comparison. And at the same time, we still have to ask for permission even today when there are these doors and all that. يقول بعض المفسرين said about this ayah, the reason it was revealed when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O you who believe, do not enter into houses other than yours unless you ask for permission and you greet the people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals this ayah. Some of the ulama of tafsir said, a woman from Al-Ansar, from the women of the people of Medina, complained to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she said, people come into my house and I'm in a condition that I don't like them to see me in, because they don't ask for permission, they just come through. They come in without asking for permission. فأنزل الله عليه سبحانه وتعالى هذه الآية: O you who believe, do not enter into houses other than yours unless or until you ask for the permission. يقول الإمام ابن كثير: هذه آداب شرعية أدب الله بها عباده المؤمنين، وذلك في الاستئذان أمرهم ألا يدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتهم حتى يستأنسوا أي يستأذنوا قبل الدخول ويسلموا. These are manners that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibn Kathir says, has disciplined His servants with. Has given and provided to His servants manners so they can live in accordance to it. And in this condition and in this issue, it's the matter of asking for permission. ويقول الإمام القرطبي رحمه الله: الاستئذان مما خص الله به بني آدم. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored the son of Adam, had honored mankind. So Al-Qurtubi says, isti'dhan and asking permission is one of the things that only for the son of Adam. It's a gift from Allah only to the son of Adam, because animals and other creatures don't ask for permission. فالاستئذان مما خص الله به بني آدم فقد أكرمهم الله فضلهم بالمنازل تسترهم عن الأبصار بخلاف الحيوانات والطيور. He said Allah had given them houses and places to live in that will protect them and will cover them from the foreigners. However, animals and birds and everything else, they have a cave or whatever, but it's all exposed and anyone can see. يقول النبي, what is the wisdom? Why it's something that is required that we ask for permission? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this? Why the messenger brings this adab and manners to us that we need to follow? يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنما جعل الاستئذان من أجل البصر. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, this asking for permission was made part of the Sharia for reason of al-basar. For this reason of the eyes. And in one narration, another, for seeing. Meaning that when you ask for permission, you are preparing the people behind the door to be in a position that, or a condition that it's okay with them to see, or okay for you to see them. So the Prophet ﷺ said, this is the hikmah behind making or legalizing in the Sharia, if I could use the word, legalizing the permission idea. That to make people more comfortable and to protect their awrat and their private issues from being seen by anyone. And usually people inside their houses, they're comfortable and relaxed and not so self-aware, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want them to be exposed. ويقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا يحل لامرئ مسلم أن ينظر إلى جوف بيت حتى يستأذن. Prophet ﷺ says, it's not permissible for a Muslim person to look inside a house without a permission. To look inside a house without a permission. And this is something that a lot of people do. Maybe in this environment, when the houses are separate and all that, it's difficult. But in some areas when the houses are connected to each other, that is what happens. People looking through the windows. People go on the roof to look down at their neighbors. People eavesdropping. All these things, right? And maybe people will start using technology now to know what their neighbors are doing. This is reality. So the Prophet said it's haram to look into a house of someone without his permission. So very serious issue. How we ask for permission? How do you ask for permission? And now we're focusing on the issue of going to someone's house. Beginning is you start with the salam and then you ask for the permission. Okay? You knock on the door, let's say you knock on the door or you ring the bell, you say, so they say who? You say your name, Assalamu alaikum, this is so and so, can I come? This is how the Prophet ﷺ taught the Sahaba. And Kilda ibn Hanbal, أن صفوان بن أمية بعثه إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بعد فتح مكة بلبن. Kilda ibn Hanbal is a servant for Sufyan ibn Umayyah. So he sent him with some milk to the Prophet ﷺ after the acquisition of Mecca. So he went, and wherever the Prophet ﷺ was, he just went straight in with the milk. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: ارجع فقل السلام عليكم. The Prophet ﷺ, he's teaching now. The Prophet ﷺ told him, and look at his sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his way of teaching. He did not scream at him. He did not insult him. He did not tell him you're ignorant, you're this and that. He said, go out, say Assalamu alaikum, then come in. Okay? So he's teaching him how to act. So before you enter into a place, the first thing you need to do is Salamu alaikum. And another hadith, رجل من بني عامر حدثنا أنه استأذن على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في بيت. A man came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and asked for permission فقال ألج or ألج. So the man said, can I come in? Okay. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لخادمه اخرج إلى هذا فعلمه الاستئذان. The Prophet ﷺ tells his servant, go out to him and teach him the manners of asking for permission. Because the man said, can I come? What did he miss? السلام عليكم. فقل له السلام عليكم أألج أو أدخل. So tell him to say السلام عليكم or السلام عليكم ورحمة الله, whatever. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can I come in? So that is the الاستئذان. That's how you do it. Okay? Today, right to the knob of the door and open and come in. It's a hotel. Huh? So the Prophet ﷺ teaching us the etiquette of walking into people's houses, other people's. I'm not talking about your house. We're talking about other people's house. When it comes to your house, we will talk about that in a little bit. Also, there's etiquette for that. So in general, the etiquette and the way of performing this permission, to enter into a stranger house, into someone's place, private place, you salamu alaykum, yani, you greet him the greeting of Islam, if he is Muslim, and can I come? So if he allows you, you come in. If he doesn't allow you, yani, don't be shocked. You turn your back and walk away. حديث ابن عباس قال استأذن عمر على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال السلام على رسول الله السلام عليكم أيدخل عمر. So the Prophet Ibn Abbas said that Umar bin Khattab came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked for permission. So he said السلام على رسول الله السلام عليكم. Can Umar come in? So here Umar hit two birds with one stone. So he said, can Umar come in? He did two things. He asked for the permission and he identified himself. Because usually if someone says, can I come in? Assalamu alaikum, can I come in? Most probably your next question will be, if you do not recognize the voice, who are you? Who's this? Right? So here's Umar, and he show you how to be smart. Some of the adab and etiquettes and manners that we need to consider when it comes to this issue. When you come to a house, usually you should not face the door. You either go to the right or to the left of the door. And that is because when the door is open, if you're standing right in front of it, you have direct sight into the house. But if you are on the side, you don't have to see that, and you cannot see that. عن عبد الله بن بسر رضي الله عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أتى باب قوم لم يستقبل الباب من تلقاء وجهه ولكن من ركنه الأيمن أو ركنه الأيسر ويقول السلام عليكم السلام عليكم. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he would come to a house of someone, he says, Abdullah bin Busr, he will not stand right directly in front of the house. He will stand to the right of the house, or to the right of the door, or to the left of the door, and then he will say السلام عليكم. Also, جاء رجل فوقف على باب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يستأذن فقام على الباب مستقبل الباب مباشرة فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هكذا أو هكذا. A man came to the house of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, wanted to come in, wanted to ask for something. So when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم opened the door, he found him right in front of him. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم told him, either you stand here or here. Okay, and to the right of the door or to the left of the door. And you see, these things are small, but when you start practicing them, you will see the difference. And it might be, a lot of these things people take for granted, but really people will appreciate that. You will appreciate that when people are doing it, when they come to visit you. And also in Hadith Sa'd ibn Ubadah أنه استأذنه مستقبل الباب فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يا سعد لا تستأذن وأنت مستقبل الباب. Sa'd ibn Ubadah, one of the great Sahaba, he came to the house of the Prophet ﷺ, and he was standing right in front of the door. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, do not ask for permission while you're standing in front of the door. Okay? Don't ask. You go on the right or on the left, because maybe we were doing something in the house. Maybe women are not covered inside the house. So when you're standing right in front of it, you're going to see all that. Which means that you don't go to someone's house and before you knock or anything, you start looking through the keyhole. Alright? And some people do that. Some people are, curiosity kills. Okay? They want to look, they want to make sure, or they look into the side window. Just before I knock and waste my time, let me check someone inside. You know, where were you? You're wasting more time looking through the keyhole, huh? So it's all that is something forbidden and haram, and you are not allowed to. Yani you're not allowed to look when they are opening for you. So imagine when the door is closed and you try, and you knock, no one is answering, and you start looking to see are they here or not. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: من اطلع في بيت قوم بغير إذنهم فقد حل لهم أن يفقأوا عينه. Be aware, you only got two. Alright? This is in Sahih Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ says, whoever looks into the house of someone through a hole, and you find a hole, you look into it, into the house. The window you look without their permission, the keyhole you look, the Prophet ﷺ said, then they have the right to poke his eye. Really, like poke it literally. And you get and poke it. No one has the right to look in your house. If you want them to look what's inside your house, why you have a house? Go homeless. Cheaper. So the idea is that you have to respect people's private time, private places. And this is one of the This is one of the reasons that the Sharia and the Deen came. To respect people's properties. To respect people's private parts, private life. To respect people private issues and affairs. That is very important. So all these things that we need to be concerned about, to respect people's property, their wealth, their reputation, their honor, all these things Sharia came with to emphasize. And these are the 5 things. So it's very important that we keep that on mind. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ warned straight or a great deal of those who look into the houses of other people without their permission. يقول أنس بن مالك: إن رجلا طلع من بعض حجر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقام النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إليه بمشقص فكأني أنظر إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يختله ليطعن. The man, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Sahabi said, Anas ibn Malik, a man was looking into the house of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, one of the rooms of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, يعني stealing a look or something. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم went into a mishqas. Mishqas يعني it's an arrow but wide one. And the Prophet ﷺ trying to take a chance to poke his eye. And if you poke his eye, then there is no guarantee on you and you are not responsible. And there is no compensation for this guy. Okay? And that is a serious matter that we should be considering. Also, one of the adab and the manners of al-istidhan and asking for permission is you ask 3 times. Okay? 3 times. That's the maximum. You come and 3 times you ask for permission, and if you don't get the permission, you leave. That is the adab in the Sharia, and that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us and His Messenger. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إذا استأذن أحدكم 3 فلم يؤذن له فليرجع. If one of you asks for permission 3 times and he's not given the permission, he should leave. يعني you go to today. Before, as I said, there were curtains or no doors whatsoever, so the person will stand outside, he will say, Assalamu alaikum, can I come in? He doesn't get an answer. Can I come in? He doesn't get an answer. 3rd time, can I come in? No one answers, he leaves. You should leave. Okay? Today, you knock 1st time, no answer. 2nd time, no answer. 3rd time, no answer. Then you open and you go in, right? That's what we do. But that is not the adab and the etiquette. 3 times you either ring the bell or you knock on the door. No answer after 3 times. Sometimes it might be noisy inside. There are kids, this and that. You can give them maybe they did not hear you. Okay, so not every knock will mean one question, but in general, 3 times. That is the order of the Prophet. قال العلماء: المرة الأولى ليسمع صاحب البيت. The first time, you ask for permission, you knock the door or bell the ring. They said the first time to make sure that the person, the owner of the house, heard you. وَالْمَرَّةُ الثَّانِيَةِ لِيَأْخُذَ أَهْلُ الْبَيْتِ حَذَرَهُ. And the second time, you give that period of time between. The second time for the people of the house to be prepared. Yani if a woman is not covered, will cover. If a man is not dressed properly inside his house, he will get dressed. Whatever the situation is. والثالثة إن أذنوا إن شاءوا أذنوا وإن شاءوا ردوا. And the third one, it's their choice, either to let you in or to let you go. Alright? So the sunnah and the order to respect is that you go to people 3 times, you knock on the door 3 times, that is sit. No, that's it. Yani you're not allowed. You turn your back and you leave. Even some of the ulama yani went to say it's forbidden to ask for more than 3, because the Prophet ﷺ said 3. So you need to stick to the order of the Prophet ﷺ. Yani someone might ask, what's about the phone? When I call someone on the phone and he doesn't answer, do I have 3 times to call him? Yani back to back to back. Is that considered permission? Yani we say with the phone usually yani Allahu A'lam, but this is a new thing. With the phone it's 1 time, because first he can see who's calling him. So if he wants to answer, he would answer. Second, most probably he's not answering because he's busy with something. Maybe he doesn't even want to talk to you. Alright? So he can look at the number or at the phone, and he decide if he wants to call you back, he can call you back. It's different than when you're walking away. So with the phone, call once and that's it. You want to call him, you call him later. Huh? Another thing is, it's not allowed for you to say ana. And you come, you knock on the door. Who's that? It's me. It's me. Everyone is me. Alright? And the Prophet ﷺ disliked that. And you knock on the door, it's me. Like, who are you? Okay? First, the problem with that is first, you did not give too much information. It's me. Second, there is in it some sense of glorifying yourself. It's me. Alright? So the Prophet ﷺ hated that. As Abdullah bin Jabir, or Jabir bin Abdullah, when he came and he knocked on the door, so the Prophet ﷺ said, who's that? He said, Ana. It's me. So the Prophet ﷺ got angry and he repeated frequently, Ana, Ana, Ana. Yani, me, me, me. What does that mean? Alright? So it's very important. فقال جابر أنا فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنا فما زال يكررها كأنه يكره. So his sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith says that he kept repeating it as if he liked to show his dislike. Okay? So when you go, so I'm so and so. Your name, your kunya, whoever. When the sister of Ali bin Abi Talib came to the Prophet, who's that? Hani. Hani. That's her nickname. So you use your name, your nickname, whatever you want, that you will know, he will recognize who you are. So you don't come to him and knock, knock, knock. Who's that? Huh? You say, I'm the guy from the dry cleaner. If he has a dry cleaner, only one he's dealing with, then that's fine. Okay? Or the guy with the beard. Alright? So it's very important that you pick something that he will recognize you with. Also, one of the adilla for this, listen to this, how they look at this and they took a dalil from. You will be surprised. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حينما كان في ليلة المعراج ومعه جبريل ما طرق بابا من أبواب السماء فاستفتح إلا فتح له وكانوا يسألون جبريل من فيقول أنا جبريل معي محمد. So the Prophet ﷺ says when he was in his journey to heavens in Isra wal Mi'raj, he said and he was in the company of Jibreel alayhi salam, said every time we come to a Jannah we knock on the door, Jibreel, so they will open and they'll say, who's this? So Jibreel used to say, it's me. Of course they recognize Jibreel, and Muhammad is with me. So it's me and Muhammad with me. So they take that and they say, you see, even when they went into heavens, they asked for that, they identified themselves who they were. So we have to understand and then we apply it in our life. ويقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مرة استأذن عليه أبو بكر فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من في الباب فقال أنا أبو بكر فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لحاجبه إذن له وبشره بالجنة. One time Abu Bakr radiallahu anh knocked on the door, so he asked his hajib, I think it was Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, he asked who's there. So the man behind the door said, this is Abu Bakr. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, so Hajib came to tell the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم who it was. So he said صلى الله عليه وسلم, allow him in and give him the news of paradise. Didn't you wish to be that one who knocked that door? Huh? Also another thing, يقول أنس بن مالك كانت أبواب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تقرع بالأظافير. That the doors of the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم used to be knocked with the nails, with the tips of the fingers. يعني this is a form of exaggeration, but this is the reality. يعني you don't come with a hammer on the door. Some people they bring the door down when they knock on your door. Okay, you just install this door, a new door, and tell your kids don't even draw anything in there, don't touch it. So some people, he might come 11, 12 at night, and you think the day of judgment, not the way he knocks on the door. Alright, so it's very out of the adab. You go and very lightly, or he comes to the ring and he gives his finger on it. Right? So it's not out. Islam comes to teach everything that might create some tension between people. Islam comes to eliminate it. Okay? Everything that might make you dislike someone, Islam comes to completely eliminate. And these are things that people, maybe one time it's okay, second time it's a mistake, third time is a coincidence, fourth time and fifth time, that is his manners. I don't want him to come. So very important that we be considerate and we do to people what we like to be done to us. Imam Ahmad طرقت عليه امرأة طرقا شديدا فخرج الإمام أحمد مذعورا وقال هذا دق الشرط. That a woman came to the house of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah, and she was knocking so hard. Most probably she had a question or whatever. So Imam Ahmad was stunned. He came out trying open the door. He said only police will be knocking like that. Who knocks like that other than the cops? They come and they already give you a heart attack before they arrest you. Sometimes it's even better. Fifth, ينبغي الاستئذان بأدب. When you ask for the permission, you ask with manners, with soft voice. Can I come in? You don't say, let me in. Can I come in? Are you busy? Can we talk? This and that. So when you ask for permission, and it depends, every people have their own habits, but you use the adab with that. Also, ألا يرفع صوته. You should not be raising your voice when you ask for the permission. سئل عبد الله بن مسعود قديما فقيل له يقول علقمة سأل رجل عبد الله بن مسعود فقيل له أستأذن على أمي قال نعم ما على كل حال تحب أن تراها. So now we come to another thing. Now we talked about a house that is not yours. Now I'm in my house. I'm still single. I live with my parents. So I'm in the house. So it's my house. Figuratively. My parents have their own room. So my mother in the house, in her room. If I want to go into her room, should I ask for permission? What you guys think? Alright. Or you're outside the house and you come to the house and you know your mother is inside. Should you ask, or you should just walk in like a hotel? You ask. So Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, when he was asked, he said yes, because we love our mothers, okay, and we honor them and we respect them, and our mothers are more important to us than one day a year, okay. And our mothers, the Prophet ﷺ said, your Jannah, your ticket to paradise can be guaranteed through your mother, okay. So our mothers are very serious investment for us, not something that we mess with, okay. So it's very important that, so all that love and all that kindness and all that dear feeling to them, still, you might take it for granted. This is my mother, I don't have to knock. But sometimes there are things that you don't like to see your mother doing. It's her private life. She also has private things that she doesn't want you to see. Or on the other, she doesn't want you to see, or you don't want to see. Okay? I'm sure no one wants, when we get older and all that, no one wants to see his mother, for example, naked. It's just natural. So that's why you should ask for permission in these things. So even when you walk into your mother's place, you ask for a permission. Even if it's her room, or you're coming to the house, even if it's your house and that's where you live, you ask for the permission. سأل رجل حذيفة بن اليمان قال يا حذيفة أستأذن على أمي قال إذا لم تستأذن عليها رأيت ما تكره. He said, do I need to ask for permission when I come in to see my mother? He said, Hudayfa radiallahu anhu, if you don't do, you might see something you won't like. Alright? And you might be embarrassed, you might embarrass her. Many things. So it's very important that even that the religion came to discuss. Also, there are 3 times that you must ask for permission. Okay? Yani if you're living with, let's say, your parents, still a youngster, you're living with your parents, or you're older and you live with your parents, whatever the situation is, or you are married and you are a parent and you have kids, then you need to teach them this etiquette and this respect that they need to do. There are 3 times throughout the day that they should not walk in without permission. And you walk into your room without asking for permission, without knocking on the door. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically talks about them. يقول Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يا أيها الذين آمنوا ليستأذنكم الذين ملكت أيمانكم والذين لم يبلغوا الحلم منكم 3 مرات من قبل صلاة الفجر وحين تضعون ثيابكم من الظهيرة ومن بعد صلاة العشاء 3 عورات لكم ليس عليكم ولا عليهم جناح بعدهن طوافون عليكم بعضكم على بعض. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this verse that all you who believe, make sure that your servants, make sure your kids who did not even reach the age of puberty. And perhaps because those who reach the age of puberty will know that they should not do that. But even the little kids, make sure that you teach them. There are 3 times during the day. Now this is the lifestyle, yani 3 times during the day that they should not come in without asking for permission. That come into your room, okay? If you're with your wife. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى, first time من قبل صلاة الفجر, the time before Fajr, because that is the time where you're just waking up. You might not be dressed completely. You might having or had fun the night before with your spouse. Whatever the situation is, then those kids should not come in without permission, because they might be seeing these things. Okay, it's very important. Yani today, wallah al-musta'an, kids have seen it all. Yani those who that we throw these TVs and these DVDs and this satellite and into our kids, and even most of our kids have their own private TVs these days, and the computers, everything in there. So it's very important that we pay attention to these things and we take it really very seriously, because they're not supposed to be exposed to these things at these ages. Okay, later on in their life, they will be exposed to what they need to be exposed, and they will be taught what they need to be taught. Okay, so we don't say and claim no that sexual education is very important. All that is just claims to corrupt the society, and that is what's happening. That's why what you see today in the community that we live in, disaster results. Billboards telling the father, you're not sure that your son is your son. Here is a DNA test you can buy $40 from the pharmacy, and make sure that the kid you've been raising is your kid. Why? Because now sex is like everywhere. The person sleeps with whoever he wants. She sleeps with whoever, wallah musta'an. And this is a disease, and this is a disaster, and has brought a lot of diseases that the Muslims, part of this society, and they end up having to spend on those people who get sick. We pay for that as well. Even though we are against it, even though we try to stop it, even though we call for opposite of that, yet we are part of it and we are responsible. And we are the people who might be paying for these people to be treated. So you see AIDS and herpes and syphilis and all these diseases because of that. When a woman walks into your place and she has 5 kids and everyone with different last name. Am I being judgmental? I'm not judgmental. But the common and the intellect and the intelligence and the common sense says, even human law says this is not acceptable. Without even being married once. Who accepts that? Animals won't accept that. So it's very important that we understand the kind of society and we pay attention to our kids. This is where our kids are being raised. That these things are okay. How many billboards you see all over the place? Are you pregnant? Don't worry about it. We will take care of you. What does that say? That is, i.e., in other words, it says, go and sleep around. If you get pregnant, don't worry about it. We will take care of you. If you look even in the Medicaid system, the woman who gets pregnant, even without husband, without marriage, without anything, just she gets pregnant, right away she gets insurance, health insurance, every insurance, right away for her and for the non or unborn child. You know in his card what it says, even though he doesn't have a name and he's not born? The son of so-and-so. That is what it says on his card. The son of so-and-so. He doesn't have a name, so they call him the son of his mother. Do you know what happens after you deliver? And I'm sure all of you, maybe most of you had kids and they delivered, your wives delivered in hospitals. What they send you after a few months? Birth certificate. Yes, but you know what they also send you? They also send you a form. What this form is? For you to change, if you want to change the last name and the father's name of the child. You change your mind, If you realize that this child wasn't the father that I put on the certificate when in the hospital, maybe I was under the influence of morphine or whatever, the father is really someone else. That is the society. Do we do that in our societies? We don't do that. We never heard of these things. Do you think these things will sell well? This DNA test, the paternity test, do you think it will sell well in a Muslim country? They'll be out of business. And usually even those billboards, you don't find them everywhere. You find them targeting specific communities. You know where the disease is, you know where the problem is, and this is what you do. You're promoting it and you're encouraging and you're inventing things for them to continue doing the wrong that they are doing. Not trying to correct them. They don't come and call for abstinence. No sex before marriage. Protect your chastity. But they come and they call for protection. Right? Take the pill before the night before. Use this and that. That is what they do. That will not fix the problem. It gets the problem worse and worse. And again, the clean people who don't get involved with these things, they are the ones who pay the price as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala focusing on this issue and focusing on the kids, that even that we need to teach them from early age. Don't say he's a kid, he's only 10 years old, he's only 7 years old, let him come in and out the way he wants. He might see you in a position that you don't want him to see you in. So this is the first time, that is before Fajr. Before Fajr is the first prayer, as you all know, before sunrise. So that is a time where, the end of the sleeping period, he should not. And also at the time of al-Dhahira. Usually when people take nap, in this country we don't do that. You work from after Fajr until Isha. There is no time for a nap. But usually, the good thing is there is a nap. That's what, here they call it lunch. But it usually should be taken, you should sleep in that. I'm serious. So usually that is the habit. So if at that time the husband or the wife, the father or the mother might take off their clothes, might relax, this nap and qaylula. So that is also a time that they should not come in without asking for permission. And the last time after Salat al-Isha, min ba'di Salat al-Isha, the last salah and the last prayer, after that is the time when you go to bed. So if they want to come in, if they need to ask question, if they need something, they should ask, knock, can I come in? Assalamu alaikum, can I come in? These are times that we need to teach our kids and ourselves as well. And if you're living with your parent, you knock before you come in. You ask for permission. If you're living with your brother, and this is something that it happens in our societies. And we need to limit. You find a brother living with his brother who's married. That is something you will have to fall in the haram. يعني 100%. يعني you find a guy married, and then his brother comes from overseas, and he decides, you know what, he comes to stay, and he lives with his. And a brother can approach me, and he asked me where his brother came from overseas. This brother is married, who's staying here. His brother came from overseas, and he welcomed him in. He stays in his house, but for how long? So he said, I tried to find him a place, and I'll pay for it, just because my wife will not be comfortable, and that is her right. Imagine, your brother lives with you. You cannot leave the house and leave him with your wife alone. It's haram. So he's asking me because his parents told him that they'll never talk to him if he let his brother live outside his house. So it's very serious, and this is based on ignorance. Okay? يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, when he was asked about the brother-in-law, he said, الحم الموت. الحم الموت. He said, brother-in-law is death. The brother-in-law is death. It's a dangerous thing. Why? Because we take it leniently. Oh, he's my brother, what are you going to do with my wife? He's the one who's going to protect my wife if something happens to me. But there are people who are sick. There are people who are sick in their hearts. And if I stand here and tell you stories of these situations and what happened because of the brother-in-law, you won't even believe. Crimes committed because of that. Crimes. And these are real stories. Because he overtrusted his brother and did not listen to the orders of Allah, and he would leave his brother alone with his wife. Okay? The shaitan comes in and starts whispering. So be aware of that, and that is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, يا نساء النبي لستن كأحد من النساء إن اتقيتن فلا تخضعن بالقول فيطمع الذي في قلبه مرض. Allah tells the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, or the wives of the Messenger, if you were to talk, you should not soften your voice. طيب, who are they going to talk to? You know who they're going to talk to? Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Sahaba, the best companions. So yet the religion of Islam closes the door. Don't even give the chance for anyone to think anything. So that is when a woman talks to men, to strange men, to her, she needs to talk normal, not soften her voice, and not doing that and this and that. Okay? Straight to the point. So it's very important that we understand this concept, and that is to protect the integrity of the society and the integrity of the generations. Also, one of the asking for permission is for the kids who are still living under the control and the supervision of their parents, to ask their parents for permission when they want to do something. They want to go out. Ask for permission. You want to go on a trip. Ask. How many parents complain that my son calls me from a different state. He tells me, oh, we decided to go to visit something in Utah. He calls him from Utah. You live with him, so you ask for permission. Why you get him worried? You are obligated to do that. Okay, as a child, as a son. You still live in your parents' house. It doesn't matter how old you get. You're going to stay a child in their eyes. So don't get them worried. Those are your parents. You should be pleasing. And you should keep stress-free. So when you do these things, you get them scared and worried, and they're looking everywhere, and they're going to hospitals. So it's very important that we ask for permission from our parents, especially when we live with them and they expect us back. Also, it's not recommended, and maybe it's not allowed, for a husband to go in or enter where his wife is without warning. A husband. Now most of you here, mashallah, some of you don't have their wives with them at home. So you go into the house and right away you open the door and come in. That is not from the religion of Islam. It's your house. No one tells you you can't do that. But you can knock. You know what? There is easier way today. You can send a text message. You can knock. You can ring the bell. Huh? Wait for a minute and open the door. How many times you did that? Suddenly you walked in and your wife said, "Oh, you scared me." That is not something I want to hear when I walk into my house. You scared me. Right? Scared me. What do I look? A beast? A little bit, but I'm not that scary. Huh? But the point is that even with the wives, the Prophet ﷺ reported that he held a whole army. A whole army. Outside Medina. So the women inside the Medina will know that their husbands are returning. So he held the whole army, said, "You wait here for some time." So the women will prepare themselves for their husbands. That is drama. That is what they call it, romance. Drama. Romance. Okay, that is the Prophet ﷺ that they accuse him of all these things. So you want to come to the house, or you're inside the house, your wife in her room, she didn't realize. يقول ابن مسعود تنحنح. Do that. Like I'm here. Move your feet. Knock on the floor hard so she will know that you're here. And your wife will know your footsteps. Trust me. Alright? تقول زينب زوجة عبد الله بن مسعود كان عبد الله بن مسعود إذا جاء من حاجته تنحنح كراهة أن يهجم منا على أمر نكره. That she said, Zainab radiyallahu anha, she said about her husband Abdullah bin Mas'ud, when he finishes work or whatever and comes back, before he comes in he will make this word and to let them know, because he did not want to come in and we are in a position that he doesn't like, and we're doing something that he won't like, or we are not sitting in a way he won't like. Okay. وقال الإمام أحمد إذا دخل الرجل على أهله تنحنح. If the person, a husband comes to where his wife is, he should make it or any form to let them know that you are here. Some of the asking for permission for specific things that are contemporary come to my mind, things that we need to pay attention, we might not these days. You go into a store and they're selling food and you want to try something. So you have to ask for permission to try it. You don't go and start eating from this and eating from that and eating from without the permission. Okay? You have to ask for permission because most probably they won't like that. Okay? Usually here, it might not connect much to us, but if you go into small stores, Muslim stores, maybe if you go into Hajj and you walk into a store of dates, there are like 100 types of dates. Some people want to try everything. By the time he's done trying all of them, he doesn't want to buy anymore. Alright? But you ask for permission, because that is his wealth, that belongs to him, and you should not take something from someone without his approval. So that's something we need to pay attention to. Also, some people will be invited. Because you're nice, you invite me for your wedding. You invite me for dinner. You invite me for lunch. So here I come and I bring all my friends with me. Now that is not a manner of Islam. Okay? If I want to I was hanging out with someone and they say, "Oh, let's go. It's a wedding." They're not counting. Let's go. How many times people have weddings and they have specific numbers, and at the end of the wedding they come to them, the hotel or the whoever, and they tell them, the banquet people, they tell them, "Okay, $5,000 more because there are 200 people who extra. We had to serve." It happens. Okay? So if someone invites you, you go by yourself. If someone invites you and your family, you go with your family. Of course, that is if the wedding free from all the haram. But the point is that you have to, if you want to take someone with you, ask for permission. Because most probably he's going to let you in. He will be embarrassed to say no. But do not cross the step. Keep his feelings. Respect his feelings. So that's something we need to pay attention to. The Prophet ﷺ, a man invited him to food. So a group of the companions were with the Prophet ﷺ. So when the Prophet ﷺ got there, قال إن هذا الرجل قد تبعنا أتأذن له. When the Prophet ﷺ was invited with those companions, a man maybe saw them walking, he joined them. So when they reached the house of the person who invited them, the Prophet ﷺ asked him, this man followed us. Do you allow him in? Is it okay he comes in? Look, the Prophet ﷺ asking for the permission for this person. So the man said, yes. So if you take someone with you, ask for the permission. Maybe he doesn't like this person. Maybe he doesn't like him to eat his food. Maybe there's issues between them. Okay? So why are you going to put him in that position? Something to pay attention. The Prophet ﷺ, even when he was sick, you all know the story, he asked his wives if he could stay in the house of Aisha. He asked his wives if it's okay with him, because each one has its own night, huh? But when he's sick, he's going to spend few consecutive nights after each other. So he asked إذا كان يمر في عند عائشة, if it's okay for them, with them, that he stays in the house of Aisha, and they approve. Also, permission from the neighbors. Okay? And this, most of these things apply to Muslims and not Muslim. And you don't say they're not Muslims, I don't have to. No, you are a Muslim. So you abide by these rules, and these rules are to you. So neighbors, sometimes we might build something in our backyard and take space from the neighbor's land without their permission. That is something not acceptable. And build to that. Many things that people do these days that will bother and annoy their neighbors, that if they were just to ask, can we do that? They would solve a lot of tension and a lot of problems. What are the benefits of asking permission? Too many benefits. One, حفظ لعورات المسلمين. First, protecting the awrat of the believers. Protecting the awrat and the privacy of the believers. So when you when you come to a door and you stand to the right or to the left, you are protecting yourself from looking at into their privacy. Okay? Protecting your eyes from seeing, and you're protecting their honor. It's a big deal when you see a woman's who covers her head, if you see her hair, if you are a foreigner. So this way you're protecting her awrah. Also, it's showing respect to the host. When you ask for permission, you show him respect. And this way, human nature, he will appreciate that. Also, fulfilling the commands of Allah and the Messenger. This is command from Allah and the Messenger to ask for permission. So when you do it, you have to remember, it's a worship. It's some type of worship. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also respecting the etiquette of Islam, the religion of Islam. Tranquility in the houses. People are sitting in their houses at ease. He wants to sit in a specific way. He wants to cross his legs. He wants to do that. He's relaxed. He's not worried that someone is going to walk in and see him exposed. Okay? So that brings peace into the people's houses. Also shows the husn al-adab and the good mannerism of the Muslim. قال عمر بن الخطاب من ملأ عينيه من قاعة من قاعة بيت قبل أن يؤذن له فقد فسق. Umar says, whoever looks into a house without a permission, whoever sees enough from a house without giving the permission, then he is fasiq. He has fall in the wrongdoing, in a major thing, fusaq, and you know what Allah describe him. That's why I advise myself and you to listen and read what this man said. Umar bin Khattab, his words hit the spot. It's very meaningful. And Aisha radiyallahu anha used to say, زينوا مجالسكم بذكر عمر. Add spices to your gathering by remembering Umar. Add beauty and excitement to your gathering and benefits by remembering Umar radiyallahu anhu. Also, one of the manners that the Islam has brought asking permission is asking the permission of the woman to approve her husband. Islam also talked about that. In a society that a woman had no value, the woman was property actually, that if the husband would die in the time when Islam came, in the peninsula and in Arabia, when the husband would die, his inheritors, yani his brother or whoever inherits him, will inherit their brother's sister. Just the way they will inherit his furniture, they will inherit his wife. That is what the society wants. A society where they used to bury when they have a newborn and it's a female, they will bury her alive. وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ. In Europe, on the other hand, the church in these ages, they were still discussing if a woman evil or human, or if the woman is a full human or half a human. That is what the church was discussing at that time. So Islam came and overstepped all these things and said a woman has the right to choose her husband, has the right to approve her husband. That does not mean that a woman goes and start screening whoever, making a relationship with this and decide, oh, the Sheikh said in the book it said the woman has the right to choose her husband. This is not with the limitation of Islam. And that applies to the man as well. But she has the right and she has the final word. This is, I approve him or I don't approve him. I think he will be a good husband or I don't think so. The father does not force her, cannot force her. The brother cannot force her. Her family cannot force her. Actually, when a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and she said, my father forced me to marry this guy, the Prophet ﷺ said, the marriage is null. The marriage is, he voided the marriage. There is no marriage actually, because she did not approve from the beginning. So it's very important that we understand that. قل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من زوج امرأة كرها رد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رد نكاح. Okay, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, whoever a woman gets married by force, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم has nulled and voided the marriage, and that applies to these days as well. Also, the permission of the wife of her husband. Okay, the wife also has to ask for permission from her husband when she wants to do things that he needs to know of. And Islam came to discuss this issue. A woman doesn't have the right to in and out whenever she wants of the house. And she doesn't have the right to do whatever she wants. The husband needs to know. The husband needs to be informed. And the husband needs to be asked for permission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the upper hand. And He gave him the responsibility of taking care of his wife and his kids. And one of the responsibilities of the wife, because of that, is to ask for permission when she wants to leave the house, when she wants to go to her family, he asks. Depends on the agreement between them. And at the same time, I say, the husbands, even though Allah gave you that right, you should not abuse it. Don't make her life hell. She wants to take the garbage out. Or why you left without asking me for permission? بالمعروف, بالمعروف, and with the right understanding and with sympathy and with understanding between both parties. I want you to ask me so I know where you are. Sometimes the wife will go to her parents, I'm going to okay. She goes, she tells him and he approves. It's not like you're going to say no, but to let him know. And he goes, and when he goes to pick her up, he goes to see her there. What? Your wife did not, or your wife came but she left to another house. Or she went with her sisters to so. That is not permissible without the permission of the husband. Islam comes to regulate the whole society. So if the wife wants to do whatever she wants, and the husband wants to do whatever he wishes, and the kids want to do whatever, then what kind of society we have? What kind of family we have? What kind of ummah we have? The whole nation is made out of small families. So if the husband doesn't respect and doesn't honor, and if the woman doesn't respect and doesn't fulfill her duties toward her husband, and that what creates a lot of problem. A lot of problems. But we say also that doesn't mean you make your wife, you make her house a prison. Okay? Yani you put her there and you lock the door and you don't allow her. So it's very important that we understand وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Yani live with them بِالْمَعْرُوف. In a good manner, in a good fashion, in a good way. Okay? So that is, all these things are issues that we should know of and we should discuss and we should put into practice in our life. And the woman should not feel that she's weak if she asks her husband. Yani, if a woman, let's say, works somewhere and she wants to do, she asks her boss. Okay? So why it's asking the boss is okay. But when it comes to the husband, why should I ask him? This is the husband that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a step over you. So he can take care of you and he can protect you. So also you, with things, you're responsible. When she doesn't have clothes, you're responsible about putting clothes on me. You're responsible about paying the rent. You're responsible about getting me this. You're responsible about getting me that. But why when it comes to your rights, you know them very well. But when it comes to his rights, you get offended. Okay? So the women need to know their rights, and the husbands need to know their rights, and the women need to know their duties, and the husbands need to know their duties and obligations, and everyone in the family needs to do that as well. This way we can get harmony in our families and thus in our societies. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.